YouTubers, gamers, day movie girls, what's going on, guys? I'm Masai, this is Masai Entertainment, and today we are reviewing Iron Fist. Guys, this is the newest Marvel Netflix TV series, part of the MCU. Listen, when I first heard about this show getting terrible reviews, it's like about a week before the show actually debuted, I was kind of worried, and everybody was calling it Marvel's first flop. You know, it had like 11 or so percent on Rotten Tomatoes, and it wasn't even about the whitewashing stuff. A lot of people were just saying it lacks originality. They didn't like Finn Jones, or is that Finn Jones? They didn't like the lead. You know, they thought the story was a bit boring, especially for the first 6 episodes. I heard they were supposed to be crappy. So I went into it a little cautious, and once I'm into like the second or third episode, I had to really question, like, what the hell were those critics talking about? This show had me super engaged. I mean, the first episode, you know, that's on anything, you know, it took me a while to get into the world of Iron Fist. Well, not the world of Iron Fist, because it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but, you know, just the character and his isolated little world that's, you know, with his characters and stuff like that. It took me a second to get into that, but once you're in, it keeps on rolling. And those first few episodes may be a little bit slow to some people, but I think they're really just trying to, you know, establish the characters and everything that you're gonna have to sit through with these next 13 episodes, and it totally works for me. Some people were complaining about the main character, Iron Fist. I had no problem with him. He's actually, I think, pretty darn good. I think the guy does an excellent job. He has this sort of childlike innocence that's a little different than the other Marvel heroes, you know, especially in the Netflix series part of the world. You know, it's something kind of refreshing. You see him kind of enter this dark world, and it kind of changes him throughout the course of the show, and that's really interesting to watch. We're back into the world of martial arts that we get in a little bit of Daredevil, but we don't just stay there. We go into the other dimension sort of area that's sort of, you know, kind of introduced to us in the Marvel Cinematic Universe by Doctor Strange. You know, we got different dimensions and old monkish sort of people with, you know, magical powers, and, you know, it's great that this show comes out exactly after Doctor Strange. I actually think Iron Fist was supposed to come out before Luke Cage at first, but they switched it probably so that it lands after Doctor Strange, so that people are established to that world, the otherworldliness that is Doctor Strange, and then by the time we get to Doctor Strange, Iron Fist, we all just kind of accept it, and it kind of just second nature. You know, we could understand that there's other dimensions and there's stuff like that. It eases us into that concept. Now, another thing that the show does that I really enjoyed, the villain in here, or the villains in this show, the Hand returns from the Daredevil series, and I thought that was a very strong choice, because if you have villains that are just like an isolated event in this one show, it can be powerful and impactful, but the fact that it grew on us, we know who the Hand is. We've seen what kind of bad stuff they can do. We've fought them before with other heroes. The fact that we're fighting them with this hero, it has a lot more impact, and it feels like this show is actually just part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like every show has this sort of, you know, isolated event going on. It feels like everything's interconnected. So while Daredevil's fighting the Hand in one part of New York, Iron Fist is fighting the Hand in another part of New York, you know, going from left to right, and then everything just kind of bobs and weaves. We have that lawyer character played by Carrie-Anne Moss. She's from Jessica Jones. She's in this show, plays a substantial part. The villain in this show, or one of the many, I think the main one is Harold Meacham. I think that's Faramir from Lord of the Rings. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's him. Yeah, he was okay. You know, he's not the worst Marvel villain that I've seen. He's definitely not the favorite of the Netflix series ones. You know, going from Kilgrave and, you know, Kingpin to this guy. You know, he might rank like 3rd or 4th because I didn't really like Diamondback and Luke Cage, but you know, he's okay. You kind of get it. He's sort of like that corporate businessy guy. He does some nefarious dealings with the Hand and stuff, so there's a bit of a supernatural element to it, but other than that, you know, he's kind of a little bit lackluster. You know, he's kind of like the corporate guy who doesn't really have a heart, you know, just kind of is ruthless. He kind of goes insane. There's a bit of like a psychotic nature to him, but other than that, he's kind of just okay. I really like the side characters in this show. Colleen Wing, she is pretty badass. I really liked her character in this show. She grew on me more and more as the show went on, and just like Elektra, she's not one to be messed with. You know, I really like it when the love interest, she's not just this damsel in distress. She works as like a team with the main character. You know, she can handle stuff on her own. That's really cool. Claire is back in this one, and she fights a lot more than I think she's fought in any of the other shows. Of course, of course she plays through all of these little Netflix shows, and I can't remember if in Luke Cage she plays definitely a lot more substantial role in Luke Cage because she does have some fighting scenes in that, but this one she really goes in. She's borderline. She's training with Colleen, and she's definitely taking a bigger and bigger part each series as they go by. I can't wait to see what she does in Defenders. Is she going to be literally like one of the Defenders fighting alongside the heroes, and then and she's the moral compass of the group too. All the other heroes, including Iron Fist, at a certain point, kind of is just, all about violence, and she's the one trying to keep them away from that path. So I really like that about her character. This is the last show on our way to the Defenders, and I think it was a great last step. I think it has a lot of interesting characters that I hope we see again in Defenders. It has a lot of great characters that I hope we get to see in Iron Fist Season 2, and I can't wait to see how this character interacts with all the other Marvel characters. It also opens up grounds for maybe including these guys in the higher movieverse, now that we're connected through this martial arts / magical realm that's, kind of like Doctor Strange's. I could see a world where these two could definitely cross paths, and then he could lead them to the rest of them. I could just definitely see that. And I just really enjoyed Iron Fist. I don't know what the critics were talking about at first. I don't know what it currently holds at Rotten Tomatoes now that it has been released and that the fans have all seen it. But I definitely would recommend this show to you. Guys, at the end of the day, I'm going to have to give this show a 7 out of 10.
Well done.
Guys, Marvel did a great job once again. I don't know why I had doubt in them. They continually bring it with the hits. I felt like the villain was okay in this one. He could have been a bit stronger. The martial arts, it was pretty solid. It got better in certain episodes than it was in others, but for the most part, it was still pretty awesome. They didn't have those like one glorious tracking shots like they have in Daredevil, but they don't need to. That's Daredevil's little thing. Let Iron Fist be Iron Fist. It's really cool to see him with the Iron Fist as well. I like that effect coming through with the glowing through his hands. I thought that was pretty cool. But I think that they have a really good thing going on. I like how they were fighting the Hand through several different shows. I think Finn Jones did a phenomenal job as the hero. I think the side characters were also great, and I cannot wait to see him and the rest of the Defenders coming up soon. So, guys, that's just my opinion. I'm sure you guys got your own. Let me know in the comment section down below. What did you guys think of Iron Fist? Did you love it? Did you hate it? As always, you guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, guys. Please check me out on my other channel, Directors JXM. We got cool skits and short films for you guys, including Star Wars Reprisal, a short film that I did not too long ago. Be sure to check that out. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. I'm the Messiah. This is Messiah Entertainment. See you guys next time. Peace.